Welcome back to the CrazyDRanch and Rabbitry. I'm David, and today we are going to start, actually it's the second day of our microgreen journey. In a previous video I showed you how to put the rack together that I'm going to use for putting our microgreens on. We've got our trays, we've got our seeds, we've got dirt, so let's get to it. Okay, so I got our trays from Bootstrap Farmer. These are the shallow trays. I have probably went a little low, but I didn't want to go crazy up front. So we only got 10 of the non-hold ones and 10 of the trays with holes in them. The light actually helps you see the holes really well. So obviously we'll be putting our dirt and our seeds in this tray and then setting them in these trays so that we can water them from the bottom. My wife was actually very helpful in numbering each of these trays, because since this is our first time of doing this, we want to be able to keep really good records, log what's going on. It's not really planned as an experiment, but since we've never done it before, obviously it is an experiment. We got our seeds from True Leaf. They seem to be one of the cheaper places. There are a couple of other websites out there that you can get your seeds from, but True Leaf is the one we chose to go with. And let's go ahead and show you some of the seeds that we got. This one is the black oil sunflower seeds. They do require soaking for 6 to 12 hours. I've heard some places 24 hours. We're somewhere over the 12 hours but below the 24, so I did go ahead and start soaking these last night. That's the reason this bag looks like it's open. We also got which one? Oh, this is the kohlrabi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but kohlrabi. We're going to try those. We've got broccoli. We got lettuce, cabbage, this one's radish, talk about that one in a minute. We got cilantro. We're probably not going to be in a rush to do this one because it does take 20 to 25 days, I've read. Part of what we're trying to do is get ready for a show on the 19th, so we've only got like 14 days, 16 days, something like that. Anyway, we've got a very short period of time, so we're not going to be in a rush to get that one going just yet, because it will not be ready in time. And we also got chia. So that is, oh, and last but not least, we got wheatgrass. Now, from what I understand on the wheatgrass, it's better if you have a mesh tray instead of a whole tray, because wheatgrass is worse about growing mold. We may go ahead and try doing them and just see how it goes. I guess we'll decide that as we go along here. So what I've done is searched around. Oh, you'll also want some good scales to, you can probably get away with ounces, but this one also does grams, which that seems to be the way everybody is giving you the recommendations, is you need to do X many grams for this size tray. So you need a good set of scales. My preference is digital because it's exactly right. And you'll need something to put your seeds in. So that's pretty much everything we need. We've got the dirt over here. I actually found a really good deal on Burpee's natural and organic potting mix. From what I've read and seen, that seems to be one of the best mediums to grow these in, so we're going to go with that. I got a really good deal at Tractor Supply on not just these little 12 quart bags or 8 quart bags. I got 1.5 cubic feet, and I actually got each bag cheaper than the 12 quart bag that you can get online. So, or is it 9 quarts? Anyway, I think it's 9 quarts and it was $12 for it. The bags that I got from Tractor Supply were under $12, so I was pretty excited about that, and that should be enough dirt to last us for quite a while. If my math is right, I think it'll be like 51 trays that we can do. And I don't remember if that was per bag or for the 2 bags, but we're set on dirt for a little while, needless to say. Okay, so what we need to do first is measure out how much each of the seeds we need to put in a 10 by 20 tray. There are recommendations for that online. It's hard to find. You would think that you could look on these packages that you got from True Leaf and it would tell you exactly what you needed to use. These labels, however, they tell me what's in it and their address and the lot number and how much is in here. But you know what? They don't tell me how to use these seeds. So I got to digging around on their website. They've got a little bit of information, but I'll tell you, the ones that really have done a stellar job, once again, is Bootstrap Farmer. Which, story on that, our trays, I originally accidentally ordered the deeper trays and realized that I needed to get shallow trays. You use less of your medium, it's easier to harvest. So I did their chat, and it was actually an hour after they were supposed to have closed, but I got on their chat and sent a message saying, hey, I did this by accident. Is there any way that I can trade the 2 out? Within about 60 seconds I got a response, and the young lady, I say young lady, obviously it's chat, so I can't say for sure, but anyway, the lady that I was chatting with, not only did she say I could do that, by the time I got through asking her if there was any way that we could switch it out, she already had it switched for me. Had a new receipt for me, had changed the credit card billing. It was awesome. And like I said, that was an hour after they were supposed to be closed. So I have to give Bootstrap Farmer a 10.10 on their customer service. I mean, I'm serious. They are stellar. So anyway, I got on their website. For each one of these seeds, they have these awesome lists of instructions. Tells you all kinds, like here on the radish one, it tells me how many grams of seeds I need to use. It tells me whether I need to pre-soak. Tells me the best growing medium, whether that's hydroponic or soil. Tells me the preferred medium, which is soil. How long you want to stack the trays, which we'll get to that in a little while. It tells me the germination rate, the germination time, in this case 1 to 2 days. The harvest time is 5 to 12 days, but it's your best harvest time is 10 days. It tells you how to use them. Like in this one, it says baby salad harvest. It's not recommended. Other times it does say. It tells you what color they're going to be. It tells you the flavor. Just all kinds of information on the Bootstrap Farmer. So, which I thought was interesting because I don't think you can get the seeds from Bootstrap Farmer. So, awesome service. But I have printed out sheets on all of our seeds, and I'm going to take a few minutes, go through and get some dirt in our trays. I'm going to separate out the seeds to the exact amounts that we're going to need, and then we'll get to planting these. Be right back. Okay, so I've gone through, I have measured out all of the different seeds. This is our wheatgrass. This is our sunflower seeds. All of these are supposed to be the amounts to do in a single 10 by 20 tray, or just for short they call them 1020s. But sunflowers, wheatgrass, lettuce, covered up the, oh, this is broccoli, cabbage, I believe this is radish, yep. We've also got kohlrabi, and I believe that leaves chia. So we've got 10 trays. So that I can stack a tray on top of the stack, we're only going to do 8. And these are the ones that they all should be ready sometime within the next 2 weeks and ready for our show. So we'll see how that all works out. And hopefully we'll be successful. Next step is going to be putting dirt in the trays and then covering it with seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and get the dirt dumped out. You really don't want to watch me dumping 8 trays of dirt, so we'll be right back. Okay, so I discovered that my table's not big enough for the 8 trays that I'm wanting to do. But what I've done is I've put the dirt in here, and then I went through and tried to get most of the clumps out of it. If you buy dirt in a bag, it typically has clumps in it. Also, there were several little pieces of wood. I actually found a snail, or slug, I guess. It's not a snail without the shell on it, but a slug in here. So I mean, there's, you want to kind of go through and sift out the soil a little bit and smooth it out. So I smoothed it out, and then, oh, speaking of things that I collected out of the dirt, these are just a few of the things that I kind of tossed off to the side. But then you want to kind of pack your soil a little bit. The easiest way to do that I found is you actually use one of these trays and just set it in there and then pack it down. You don't want to do it too hard, but you do want it to have some solid surface, so it's got some solidity to it. So what should we do first? Nobody says anything. I guess I'll have to decide. Oh, and you really want to try to get this as smooth as you can get it, so you've got an equal surface everywhere. Now, I have never done this, so wish me luck. The goal is I'm going to take my kohlrabi here, and I'm going to divide this little bowl equally all over this surface. So, in watching videos, I've just seen people kind of doing this, and going back and filling in the holes as they can. I'm probably not doing a very good job. I'll probably try to roll it around a little bit with my hand after I get it on there, just to smooth it out. But there we go. Yeah, I've got a whole big hole over here that's missing, so I'm trying to smooth them around a little bit, make sure that it's all over, get some of the big clumps cleared out. Now, like I said, we've never done this before, so this is all an experiment. And
here are some results.
I think my wife's tablet has decided to put her opinion in. She's going to give us results for something. Maybe she's just showing results instead of telling us. That's a good thing. But lightly brushing these around. I wonder if an actual brush would help, but we'll experiment with that kind of stuff later. Because yeah, I've still got some places where there's some holes, and I am finding if I brush it around too much, I'm also knocking some dirt loose. I don't know how that's going to affect our experiment here. And I can always add a little bit more. I've tried to be very exact with what the professionals have suggested. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I can't break the rules a little bit. Not that I've ever done that before. But since this is our first time, I'm trying to stay as close to the rule book as I can. I've actually got a little bit of a dip right there, and there's several gathering in that spot. But okay, so that's the kohlrabi, and that is in tray 1. My wife is actually documenting this so that we can keep up with what's going on. This one should stay in a stack for 2 to 3 days, and it should germinate in 2 to 3 days. I'm assuming that stacking and germinating are going to all happen at the same time. And then it actually says we should be able to harvest this in 6 to 10 days. So we'll see what happens. Now, once I get these trays filled, I'm actually going to go back through with a spray and spray them and get them moistened. And then, of course, the stacking will help press them into the soil so that they'll germinate better. Alright, so going for tray 2 here, we have chia. So let's see if I can spread these around just a little bit better than I did the last ones. We'll start up here in this corner this time. Yeah, I think this back and forth pattern is working better for me, as long as I don't run out before I get to the end. Going a little bit slower this time too, just trying to make sure that I do it right, which I don't know that there is necessarily a right or a wrong. Just got to do the best you can possibly do, and that's all anybody can ask. And guess what? If I don't do it right, I'm the one in charge of this. It's my fault. I probably am very unlikely to fire myself. And practice makes perfect, so the more we do this, the better it'll be. And I'm actually surprised that I'm still shaking these out, because so that method definitely worked a lot better. Should get a much more even coat when our seeds come up. I believe this tray is going to be very pretty. Just trying to hit any spots that I see that are still a little bit open.
They were growing microgreens with their chia.
Yeah, all those years ago, those chia pets were microgreens. And let's see, what should we do in the third one? You think broccoli? Well, it makes sense since we're going through that order there. And, the chia should be, or I'm sorry, the broccoli should be 2 to 3 days stacking, 2 to 3 days germination, 8 to 12 for harvest. They said the preferred date is 10 days, so basically all of these are working at about the same speed. So we should be doing a lot of harvesting in 10 to 12 days. So this one is broccoli. A little bit larger seeds. I think it's really neat how you're able to just really see these on the soil, that dark soil and all these little seeds. And it's just, you can see you're doing something. And so that's always a nice thing, is knowing you actually did something. I guess that's something that's been lost on today's generation, is so many they don't understand just doing. It's so positive for your psyche. Not bad. I think I've got a couple of spots that I'd like to flick a few seeds into, but not too bad. So that's the first 3. I'm going to set these aside. I've got 5 more to go, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Oh, almost forgot. Need to give these a nice spray. Before we forget here, we'll just, well, my sprayer, first time using the sprayer, so we're having to get to know it a little bit. There we go. And you can get a sprayer just about anywhere. I'm sure if we'd gone to a plant store and got one of the really nice sprayers, it might be spraying better than this, but and we may do that later. We've actually tried to keep our costs to a pretty low level.
And are you going to put water in the bottom tray?
Yes, because we'll want to get the soil moist all the way through. But this is just doing the seeds on top, giving them a nice little start, and getting my papers wet. But the good news is I actually saved those to my Google Drive. My Google Drive is my friend. I can open it up anywhere and study and explore and look at documents that I've created. So I've got a whole file of just microgreen stuff. Alright, and from what I understand, we'll probably want to do this a few more times over the next few days. So I'm going to get it as moist as I can without getting it sopping wet. And some people will add a little bit of extra soil on top. From what I've heard, that's not necessary. I guess we'll find out. Once again, this is just an experiment. It'll probably take us 2 or 3 tries to actually get it right. But we're hoping we'll get this one right. I am curious if anybody who's watching has done microgreens and has any suggestions. This is all new to us, and we will definitely be open to suggestions. And if there's something you'd like to see us try, then we might be open to that as well. Whew. It's a workout just doing the sprayer. And I'm sure if you are an expert at doing these, you've probably already picked out a dozen mistakes I've made. I won't be offended if you tell me about them. Just do it nicely. But I'm learning. Okay, we're going to call that good enough. Set these aside. And if you're wondering about the watering later, we'll actually be lifting the trays up like this and pouring the water in this bottom tray and then just setting it back down. And that's the way you water these from the bottom. So set these aside, get the other ones done, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, folks, our time together is almost done. I have a tray of dirt here waiting on our wheatgrass. I didn't realize that it needed to be pre-soaked, so it will be soaking for the next 4 to 8 hours, and then I'll seed this one. But so we're just going to set that one aside for now. We have several of our seeds already done, and I'm already forgetting which ones are which, so it is really awesome that my wife numbered the trays, as you can see, so we can keep up with which is which. And in case you are starting this, we have a microgreen growing record book. It won't keep a whole lot of records, but it'll give us a good start so that we can watch what we're doing. But what I'm going to want to do is stack these. I'm probably going to do some underwatering just to get the dirt good and moist. Probably a cup of water, maybe. We'll see what happens. But we'll underwater, just lifting the trays up, putting it underneath. This is kohlrabi, or kohlrabi. Not sure how you pronounce that, but this one will stack. What I'm going to do is I'll stack up 4 or 5 of the trays at a time. And actually, the way it works out, there are 2 of the seeds that we're growing that they don't need to be stacked. They need to be blacked out. So what I'm going to do is those will go on top to add the weight to push down on the ones below them, and then we'll black out on top of those. So in actuality, we'll have 4 trays in each stack, and in about 2 to 3 days we will have sprouts coming up. And what I'm thinking, we'll probably have another video about that time to show you what our progress is, possibly shorts. I'm not sure how we'll do it, but I want to kind of keep y'all posted on what's going on with these. For our next major video in about 3 days, I'm going to need some lights on these babies right here so that they will grow nice and healthy and big and green and colorful. I've got the lights. I'm going to install them on the shelf, so we'll have a video coming up next of how to install the lights and how all that works. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. I will tell you, I'm exhausted. This actually is a lot of work. You think that just putting some dirt in a tray, dumping some seeds in there, and planting them, but this has been a lot of work. And I think part of it is because I'm trying to do everything right. And this is my first time of doing it, so I'm kind of stressed out about it. But I'm really excited about all this, and I hope you are too. Be sure, if this is your first time of watching one of our videos, go back and watch the last couple about the microgreens, and be sure that you keep an eye on the microgreen playlist. Also hit that bell so anytime that we post a video, you subscribe, you've clicked the bell, you'll get notifications, and you'll be able to watch this journey as it goes in real time. And as a rule, if I make mistakes, I will tell you about the mistakes. We try to inform you correctly, and if we don't inform you correctly, we'll inform you of our mistakes. But I hope this has been good. Have a great rest of the weekend, and we will see you next time right here on the Crazy D Ranch. Have a great one.